Yo, what's going on, everybody? How's it going? Today, uh, apparently there's been a situation with this guy. I don't know too much about him. I just know that people were waiting for this game for a long time, and then it just never came out, and he kept making delays and making excuses. And now, apparently, he was, doing some weird creepo shit with people, sexual deviant kind of shit. So let's find out what the situation is from Rev here. Rev is a VTuber that I watch sometimes.
Rep here. So today we're going to take some time and talk about the disturbing situation involving YandereDev. A few days ago, a video was released containing evidence that alleged that YandereDev, 35 years old, was grooming a 16-year-old fan.
Dude, what a piece of shit.
Now, I've let the dust settle over the past couple of days because not only do we have the evidence of these alleged actions, but now we have statements from other members of the Yandere Simulator project, as well as a public statement from YandereDev himself. Now, YandereDev has existed for many years on the internet as more of a meme than an actual man. His behavior is quite bizarre, to say the least.
Yeah, from what I hear, he's just a weirdo who, like, always puts blame on other people and then just blocks you if you criticize anything that he does. And he never actually, like, promised a game that never came out.
But he's most known for his creation, Yandere's Simulator. This is a game he's been developing for nearly a decade now, but sadly has only completed a minute fraction of what it takes to complete it. Now, Yandere Simulator many years ago was very well received publicly because a lot of people saw the potential this game could have had, and that was part of the reason why he gained such a loyal fan base. However, a lot of things have plagued the development of this game. Part of it has to do with YandereDev's incompetence. He is not very good at coding or
Wow, big surprise.
developing games. That has slowed things down. But beyond just that, he's also very lazy. It is very clear that YandereDev wants to do everything but actually work on the game. And part of that has to do with his Patreon enabling him. Because when he garnered that initial wave of support and promise around the project, he had a huge amount of support on his Patreon. Right now, the number of money he's getting per month has dwindled to what I believe is an all-time low of $1,100 per month. But at many
That's
different
still
points
a lot
throughout
of
the years
money.
he's been
What?
developing this
For doing nothing? That's a lot of money.
game, that number was as high as $3 or $4 or even $5,000 per month. And part of
Bro.
that enabled
Bro, that would change my life forever if I got that kind of money per month.
his laziness, because why else would he continue working on this game if he was getting thousands of dollars per month to pretend like he's working on the game? And a lot of
Bro, imagine.
that had to do with the promise that the game initially had, also promises he would make throughout the years of things he's developing but actually wasn't. And that also has to do with the very loyal fan base that continued to support him throughout many different situations he's had over the years. And a man with a lot of free time, money, and basically spending a lot of time online in places like Discord, you see trouble a brewing. And he's had a lot of creepy comments shared from his Discord server like this, but nothing would compare to what came out a few days ago, a much more serious set of allegations made against YandereDev. Now, these allegations come from this YouTube video uploaded by Ali McC. Now, this video contains various pieces of evidence that allege that YandereDev was grooming one of his 16-year-old fans. And
Bro, you need to go to jail if that's true.
you may have noticed right here that this video is no longer available and has been taken down by a copyright claim. This is something that Ali would address. The video was taken down only 24 hours after it was released on YouTube. It was released on September 24th, and it was taken down by a user with the name of the alleged victim in this situation, which leads to only two explanations. Either someone is posing as this victim to shield YandereDev from this evidence being shared publicly, or, of course, the actual alleged victim in question was manipulated into removing it themselves. Either way, the video is down. However, there are plenty of re-uploads on YouTube as we speak and other archived websites. So I will share a link to one of the currently up videos, re-uploaded videos. But basically, we're going to have to do a lot of describing here because in the video, there's 38 minutes of content, and it
That's a
boils
lot of
down to
content.
two main pieces of evidence that are alleging things against YandereDev. First, a group of audio calls between an account that allegedly belongs to YandereDev and their conversations over Discord voice call with the 16-year-old alleged victim. Now, I say alleged every single time, but that's YouTube making me do it. In this case,
Yeah,
for
I
example,
mean, you don't want to get
YandereDev on
sued
his own personal website would admit to these Discord audio calls, but somehow I still have to say allegedly because this is YouTube and
because then you're like bullying him. Yeah, yeah, I understand. Makes sense.
their rules are very wonky on this stuff. But in those alleged calls between YandereDev and this minor, there was plenty of inappropriate sexual comments and jokes made by what was alleged to be YandereDev and made to this child that we're talking about. But the main piece of evidence that a lot of people are focusing on are alleged conversations between YandereDev and this minor on Snapchat. Now, I'm only going to show a small portion of them, again, to protect myself from having this video nuked falsely by
Yeah.
YandereDev or anyone connected to him. But here is a conversation between
Personal opinion doesn't matter. It is still illegal for me to be having a romantic someone under 18. Yeah. We'll find out though. What the
cosplay fan,
fuck?
which is alleged to be YandereDev, and the minor. And in this case, the cosplay fan account on Snapchat would refer to themselves in the third person as YandereDev. And again, going off of the preceding screenshots, you can check out the video for yourself if you want to see everything. They scroll through their entire set of conversations on Snapchat with this account. Throughout it, the person alleged to be YandereDev makes many sexual comments towards this minor, including asking for material to gratify himself to. Okay? It's very obvious that he was asking for that sort of illegal material from
Bro, it's fucked up.
this minor. And in those
Disgusting.
conversations, it is very known that this is a minor he's talking to. He knows this person is 16, and he also is very aware that this is illegal.
Why don't they take this shit to the cops? I don't understand. Why, if you have all this evidence against someone, why don't you take this to the cops and be like, hey, look at this bullshit that this guy's doing online and he's getting away with it. Maybe you should arrest him, allegedly.
And the minor also reminds this account that what they're doing is illegal. And they would play all kinds of mental gymnastics to justify receiving this material from their fan. Now, eventually, the minor would share some content. Obviously, it's not shown, but there was content exchanged between these two accounts from the minor to the other account. Which brings us to some of the worst screenshots that come out of this. These ones have to be shared. So this is the mental gymnastics that this account is using. So allegedly, YandereDev is saying this.
Well,
Yeah, I think about that
no,
sometimes.
no way.
17 is 94.4% of 18. So therefore, being attracted to a 17-year-old is 94.4% okay. If this is your logic, by the way, you are 100% wrong. This is
You're 100% a fucking weirdo. A creep and a piece of shit. Yep.
super, super disturbing stuff, justifying doing things to minors because they're almost adults. That is not how this works. That doesn't change anything if they're close to being an adult, okay? And reminder here, we're not dealing with some like call me Carson situation with like a 19-year-old and a 17-year-old. We're dealing with a 35-year-old and a 16-year-old.
Bro,
And that is
what the
highlighted here.
fuck?
This screenshot sums up this entire conversation. So eventually the minor in question would get into contact with the YouTuber who uploaded the video and was telling who's alleged to be YandereDev, that they're going to go public with this stuff, where the account would basically beg for forgiveness and gaslight and guilt trip this minor and tell them they can't post these things. And this right here captures it. So the cosplay fan account says, "You're the
Bro.
one traumatizing me." The minor apologizes, and the cosplay fan says, This here is trauma. This is abuse. This is power imbalance. I am being emotionally abused by you." Where the minor says, "I'm 16." They reply, "You have a massive blackmail over me." And they reply, "You're 35." Yeah, real screenshot. But again, continuing on, at some point, who's alleged to be YandereDev essentially begs this minor to not go forward with the evidence and to help alleviate the situation if it gets out there, to say that they lied, that none of this was real, and that it was a friend using a YandereDev AI voice changer and it's not his voice, and don't actually release the video. The evidence is all fake. I can't think of anything that sums it up better than those
Bro.
last couple of screenshots. But when this video went out there and the
Oh,
re-uploads went out
holy
there,
shit.
it all hit the fan really quickly. The consequences
They need to go to cops with this instead of just putting it on YouTube for clicks.
were very swift and severe. This one, for example, is the voice of Yandere.
That's the only way.
Ch-
That's the only way justice is ever gonna get served, is if people stop going to YouTube with stuff and start actually going to authorities and being like, "Hey, yo, we got this shit."
character, and she is, of course, walking away from this project. And that is a big blow to YandereDev, because in order to continue with the game, he will have to replace all of these voice lines for the main character of the
Bro, there is no game.
game. And that is pretty much everything he has worked on for the better part of a decade. I mean, he's essentially finished with this move alone because of his slow pace in developing this game. And while we're here on Twitter, talking about Twitter, I am in no way trying to help out YandereDev. I'm trying to help out any alleged victims of this situation, because I have noticed at least a few fake Discord screenshots going around with things that they're trying to paint as the words of YandereDev. Now, as much as it's funny to dunk on YandereDev with this whole situation right now, spreading fake Discord screenshots for clout on Twitter is only muddying the waters and making the real evidence less believable to people, because they see one example of something being fake, and now it's in their mind that, hey, maybe these other things are fake too, when those other things are not. So your Twitter likes and your
But like, if they're just going on there to cancel him and like not gonna actually go to the authorities that can take care of this situation, what the fuck are you even doing? You should go to the cops with this situation.
clout are not worth muddying down the real potential evidence against someone like YandereDev. But moving forward, YandereDev would actually respond to this situation, releasing a very long statement. You can pause and read the full thing as we go through it, but I'm
Also, as soon as you apologize, you're guilty
going to sum it up quickly. He comes out on
in the
the
court of
25th
law.
after already some of the voice actors and other members of the Yandere Simulator project have walked away. And he says that, well, you've probably seen some concerning stuff over the past couple of days. And in this initial statement here, he acknowledges that the person he was talking to was 16 and that he had inappropriate conversations with this 16-year-old and that the audio recordings were real. And he acknowledges many times that it probably wasn't the best thing to talk to a 16-year-old, and at first didn't perceive it as a
Oh no, you'd think.
problem, which, big problem. Okay, there is no reason a 35-year-old man should be talking in Discord voice calls for hours on end with a 16-year-old and talking to the 16-year-old, in his own words, like she was one of the guys. That is a huge red flag right there. But he would go on to talk about some of these conversations and basically say that this whole thing was taking him out of context, and this was a part of this effort by a drama YouTuber to produce a video about this situation to get a lot of clicks and ad revenue on this situation. And really, he tries to deflect and talk about how he's let the fans down and oh,
Oh
woe
my
is me.
god.
But really, no apology ever made to the actual minor he's talking inappropriately. It's more about his public reputation looking badly, and that's hardly surprising. But he would wrap up this
I
whole
mean, he
thing
should go to
by basically
jail.
saying what he was doing was very questionable and that he doesn't blame the members of his project for walking away, and that he's just really humiliated and that he's going to have a hard time getting back into the
Oh, poor him.
development of this game now that a lot of assets have been lost. And then he would donate money to Rain. And, you know, at that point, like, I don't really know what that's supposed to mean after you were alleged to be inappropriate with a minor, how that fixes anything. But I guess $1,000 to Rain, I guess at the end of the day, at least there's that, I guess. But that is all we know for now about the situation. Obviously, very disturbing. And again, these are allegations, but there seems to be a lot of evidence supporting
There's evidence. You need to take it to authorities. Again, it's
these allegations. And where this all goes from here, I have absolutely no idea. It seems like YandereDev and the Yandere simulator are finished at this
good.
point. Public support, even amongst the most avid of fans, seems to have completely disappeared, and for good reason based on what is alleged. And the game itself, forget it. There is no way this game is ever being finished. It
Yeah,
wasn't going to be finished before this
there
round of
was no game.
allegations, and it certainly isn't after the allegations have been made and parts of the project have to be remade. But that is going to do it for this situation. Please share all of your thoughts about
All right, well, guys, that guy's a piece of shit. But if you like this video, like it. This Rev's video is gonna be in the description. You can go down there and click on it, watch him, show him some support for this. People need to take this to authorities if this is all true. But that's it. Subscribe, and I'll see you next time on the next video.